What's the difference between a really good FM section and a more standard, boring beginner one? So let me play you for the contrast without all the things, the little details which are in there. That was kind of boring. To be honest, it's not bad, but it's not quite the best it could be. The other version was much superior, and in my opinion, that's the difference between like a pro and a beginner level, because it's actually not the riff which changed much, it's more the little details around it. So to explain you a bit more about this, the riff has like a 2-bar loop. So we are repeating here every 2 bars. You can see it like here on the little markers here. And at the end of those 2 bars, we place like little effects. So for example, let me play a few. So for example, we have this effects here, we have like another one, so a sample, and we have one from a synth. Doesn't really matter where it comes from the source. It's more important what you put there. And what you put there has, in my opinion, 2 very important considerations. So number 1 is something, you want to have something which enhances it. So you don't want to choose something which conflicts with the main sound or which gets like too prominent in a bad way. You really want to have something which just adds up complementary to the sound and which brings it to a higher level. And the second thing, what I'm looking for here is I want to have something which has like an uplifting effect or builds tension, or we have the feeling there's something approaching, there's something coming here, and not something which is just like an effects. So we really want to choose very wisely to have something that brings the energy and the tension and everything up in that section so that we can start into the new loop again. So let's have a look at a few examples here. One very important thing is here, for example, you see like the frequency here. It doesn't do much here, but it could be like rising all the way, which could even be better. But what you definitely want to avoid is sounds which go like up and then down, so that you are not really like reaching like the highest point of that sound. And also things which are like wobbling around in the filter and things like that. So you really keep in mind that you are looking for kind of like risers, maybe pads with an uplifting character, effects which have an approaching character, everything which brings like uplifting intention, energy into our arrangement here. And here in the middle, so we have like a section of 16 bars, and the middle is here. So let's put that here. We have a little bit of a special case. So we are building up into a melodic hook. So we have those 4 risers here, and we have this melodic hook here. So let me quickly activate this. So this really gives like a special emphasis to our middle section. So to play this a bit more in context. I played recently a set at Chikaya Festival. Most my tracks, along with some other tracks from artists I really like, and it's a really cool thing if your music reaches a level where your tracks can be played along with other good tracks and they don't stick out because of the production quality. And I want to help you with that, but in the limit of this YouTube channel, it's kind of like impossible to go really deep. First of all, my time is quite limited, and also it's very hard to make like a really structured program out of this. So I put like a lot of effort, and I mean like a lot of effort into my program. So you get like everything from A to Z about my production, so that you really know how to produce a pro-grade track. And not only that, the main feature of this course is that you get feedback from pro artists like Morse, Cosmic Sidekick, and me, and that is such a game changer. Something where you're investing in yourself, and I think there's no better investment is into something which sticks for the rest of your lifetime with you and saves you kind of like tons of time and money because you don't like dabble around. And if you're interested in that, then you find a link in the description box below. So see you at the course. But there is more than that. So we also have here a double kick, and we cut the bass a bit to make room for that, and we also cut the drums here. Sometimes you can leave the drums even, it depends a bit case on case, but you definitely want to cut the bass, so you don't want to have like kicks over bass here. That doesn't sound too nice because you get this little bumps because like the two low end sounds add on top, so that's what you definitely want to avoid. But there's even more to that. We are filtering the kick and bass here a bit, so to kind of like anticipate that there's something happening. So we really build inwards the tension of this middle thing here. And then once we hit it here, I personally would place a down sweep here and a crash, which makes then the feeling of like hit the top thing and then coming down. So we have basically those two here. And one more time together. And this is just like another effect here at the end of the two bars of the loop. And then here in the end, there's something happening again. So here we are building towards a little moment, and this is kind of like specific to a track. And I got the idea from like Banzuri. So this is also like an excellent track from Electric Universe. And what he did here is he made like a little variation here. So he took out the original riff and placed an effects here. So to make a little bit of an interruption. It could be an effects, but you could also do like a glitch. You could also kind of like do a pitch shifting in the bass. So there's many options how to execute things and many different ideas you can apply to it. But the main idea is here that this is something different to announce this last part where everything kind of like builds toward the drop. So this is kind of like giving you a surprise moment, and it's also taking your attention and also masks a bit the stuff behind it. So let's have a look at that one. This one has like a huge delay, which also helps, for example, to mask risers like this one, so that we don't hear them as prominent. And we're building into that with this little riser here. You can cut it also abrupt, so because here I had like more reverbs and delays, but you don't always need to take everything over. Maybe there's like a little click here in the end, you can fade that if you really notice that. So then it sounds like this. And then here in the end we have another melodic hook, which kind of like acts as a response to that one. So I tried to kind of like pick up the idea here and close it then down here, so that everything kind of like from the middle section to the end section makes sense again and wraps it up. Here is also something special. We cut a little bit the drums. We have like we have a kick thing here. We could actually cut all the drums here, which is even better. And then we have the kicks here, and the kicks are relating to the hook also. So we have like 8 notes here, and I place the kicks in the same pattern, because it can sometimes sound a bit weird if you have, for example, like 8 notes here, and then you go with like 16s and 32 kicks. That doesn't really fit so rhythmically. So that's nice. We could also adapt actually the FM and glitch that one to have even the rhythm matching. So there are many options again in how to do these things, and to be honest, I made this like this morning, so it could be better. Just saying, the whole section is more like a demonstration thing here, but there's even more to that. So what we can also use besides like the filtering, which I already have spoken about. So we have like a filtering here in the kick and bass, which goes into that middle section, and we have an even bigger filtering here, which goes into the end section. I added like reverb to the kick and bass here. It's really important that if you go into the next section that you cut it, so that you cut it in the reverb then and don't let it leak over. And the same we can also do in the synth. So for example, we can drive it upwards here. So you see like the synth filter is going up, and we are also driving up, and I notice this is the wrong thing. So we're also driving up the reverb here, so that basically we're taking away the lows, which makes the focus more on the highs and gives more of a noisy touch. And by adding reverb, we kind of like exaggerating that, and then we want to like cut it here in the sense once we drop really. So that's basically how you can make this so much more interesting by adding this little ear candies and decorations here and there, and by bringing in some thought where you want to drive the energy towards, and then kind of like help it with little filter outs with a little bit of reverb sometimes. Maybe also in the synth you can do things like some modulations, which I didn't do here. So there's many options, but the main thing you should have taken from this tutorial is that you really want to think about your riff, or your maybe also your melody, it depends on the section you have, and then put this little decorators kind of like towards the end of those loops to drive it upwards, and then use the other thing in the middle part and in the end to really make it explode and shine. And that makes such a difference. You have heard both versions. One sounded really boring and the other one was kind of cool, and I like it. So I hope you like it too, and let me know in the comments if you liked it, and if you have any suggestions for new tutorials, because whatever you struggle with, I can help you with that, and I'm always happy to make more content which is kind of like requested than just like thinking myself about what could be interesting for you guys.